The internet is a very diverse place to say the least. From just the palm of your hands, you can access a vast array of content and activities. From hour-long video essays about whatever niche topic you can think of, to an endless supply of 30-second videos showcasing the brain rot of the week.
And I want you to make me a Krabby Patty!
Start digging in your butt, twin.
What? What?
The internet is a vast landscape with lots of different people, from many different places, creating many different things. It's virtually endless, and with anything that grows so vast, there are bound to be a few bad apples. Now, it may surprise no one when I say, there are a lot of weirdos on the internet. I mean, I'm sure we all know what an incel is. The types that are online 24/7, they live in their mother's basements, they browse sites like 4chan, and complain about how women never like them despite how nice they are. They're strange, lonely, and typically parasocial, distorting their minds into believing they have some connection to some sort of online influencer, and sometimes it gets even darker than that. And today, we'll be talking about a recent situation with some pretty dark implications, involving a certain clout-chasing influencer who has made a turn for the worst upon reaching adulthood by pandering to these freaks for a quick buck. If you were on YouTube in 2016, you know who this is, but for those who are unaware, this is Lil Tay, and she began growing her internet presence as a child flexer.
Lil Tay out here balling in the eye gate. I dropped 200 racks on this car, and I'm only 9 years old. I got the keys to this car.
Her growth mainly came from people making fun of her at the time. You see, 2016 was the peak of YouTube outrage, and Lil Tay took advantage of this as a way to skyrocket in popularity. Well, I say Lil Tay, but she began her career as a 9-year-old. And can you really expect a 9-year-old to make these elaborate plans to gain fame? It's been theorized that someone else is behind the scenes giving Lil Tay directions or ideas on what to do and say. And for a while, this was her strategy to get attention and money from the internet. But like most things, this strategy got stale as YouTube changed. And eventually, people got bored on hating on Lil Tay and moved on to other things, leaving Lil Tay to fade into irrelevancy. That is, until now. Well, Lil Tay has caused a massive uproar across the internet, and it's for all the wrong reasons. To make a long story short, she started Onlyfans on the exact day that she turned 18, and it made $1 million in the first 3 hours. These dudes were spawn camping, legit pre-ordering, straight up stream sniping. This is an insane situation, and it gets even crazier when you realize she was advertising it before she even turned 18.
So, it's my 18th birthday on July 29th. And every mail has been counting down to it and literally telling me to drop the link the second I turn 18. Girlies, what do you think? Should I do it?
Yes, you heard that right, chap. A 17-year-old girl was advertising the day she became legal so freaks could goon to her day of. And what's even worse is that it worked. You know, sometimes I'm ashamed to be a part of the human species. The fact that both me and some guy who subscribed to Lil Tay OnlyFans are both considered people, you know, I don't like that. Because obviously it's bad that she made an OnlyFans day of her 18th birthday. That is a life-altering decision to be making the first few hours of being legally an adult. But it's just so much worse when you take a second and think, where did this money come from? Who bought into this? And you realize hundreds of thousands of freaky dudes were camping this. They had a timer on their phones waiting for the exact moment this dropped. And it's just so obvious what they're all looking for. I mean, look at this screenshot. Freshly 18. Don't tell my mom. I think we all know what's being implied here. And I think any guy who bought into this needs to get their search history checked. I really don't know what decisions in your life led you to subscribe to Lil Tay OnlyFans. I really can't imagine. But I know all the dudes who did it probably look like Jabba the Hutt. They probably as pale as Voldemort. And, you know, I wouldn't put it past them to have gamer chair toilets too. All I have to say is this drama shows that degeneracy is at an all-time peak. Never before in the history of the world has there been an easier time for freaks to be freaks. These antisocial online Diddy disciples roam the earth. Well, they roam the internet in their mom's basement. It gets to a point, it really does. And what's worse is this isn't even the first time something like this has happened. There was a very similar situation with Bad Baby, another clout-chasing influencer who started out young and first grew into popularity by flexing money. She also dropped an OnlyFans on her 18th birthday, which netted her millions of dollars as well. Meaning the same scenario has happened more than once, and that's genuinely concerning to me. I mean, dudes really went to the link, put in their credit card information, and never had a second thought about maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But at the end of the day, I know it's easy to hate on these girls, but I honestly kind of feel bad. We have seen time and again of adult actresses regretting their decision to go into the industry. At first, many of them thought it was an easy and quick way to make money. I mean, many of them net millions upon millions of dollars, the type of money that many will never see in their lifetimes. Yet despite this, they end up realizing it wasn't all that it was cut out to be. And the dehumanization that comes along with being in the industry really begins to take a toll on them, especially because as they continue to grow their brand and make a name for themselves, they are forced to do more grotesque and nasty things to keep attention of their audience, or else they'll end up losing the audience they've grown. That type of pressure can really break someone. And a pretty recent example of this can be seen in that One Girl 1000 Men fiasco, where one girl had encounters with 1,000 men in one day as an Onlyfans challenge. Her attempt to grow her audience by doing this insane and unbelievable challenge led to one of the most shocking documentaries I have ever seen. The mental stress and regret seen from the girl really showed the toll it truly had. This also isn't the only case of adult actresses feeling distraught after going into the industry. You may have also heard of Mia Khalifa, who is a retired actress that talks about her struggles being estranged from her family and a feeling of worthlessness because of her work, and how it has led to a struggle to even see herself as human because now everyone just thinks of her as an object. It truly isn't a fun job. It's one of hurt and regret, but even so, it is extraordinarily profitable. This potential profit provides an incentive for young girls like Lil Tay and Bad Baby to start in the industry as early as possible, a permanent and life-altering decision before they've even really lived in adulthood. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but that's the society we live in. Though I can't feel too bad because that is $1 million. I mean, I wish I could make that money. You know what I do with $1 million? We going on cruises like every week. We travel into Paris. We see the Eiffel Tower. We go to Egypt. We climb in all those pyramids. You know, this is the one thing I've always wanted to do. There's this thing in Japan where they have foreigner locations and non-foreigner locations. Some places where it's just off limits for foreigners. If I had $1 million, I would just flash them a bunch of money and be like, can you make an exception? You know what I'm saying? Oh, and also we'd be like donating and giving back to the community and like all that type of stuff as well, you know? But yeah, the situation is truly crazy. Never would I have imagined that Lil Tay would make a comeback to the mainstream through such a method. If you have any recommendations for topics for me to cover, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Stay niche and spread the word, kings.